Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and the message that I'm going to be doing for you all tonight is in regards to your gifts. For those of you who have not quite been able to awaken your gifts, or you're not very sure in regards to what your gifts are. Now, before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to someone who has sent me a donation. I should have had this in order before I got started, y'all. But let me just make sure that I give gratitude. So I'd like to give gratitude to Gardner Powell. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Um, and so, for those of you who would like to donate to my channel, you can always check the description box and look for my Cash App information. And if you find that this message resonates with you, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell if you want to be able to keep up with readings that I may do in the future or messages that come to me. So, this particular message is for those of you who have put in a request to know what your gifts are or where the blockages are coming from. So I'm going to do this. This is going to be a long message, okay? Because in order to get to your gift, you got to pull back some layers, okay? And also towards the end, I'm going to be giving, trying to get more specific in terms of what your gift may be in terms of the subject matter, so to speak, somewhere in that realm. So I'm going to be numbering from 1 to 4. We'll get to that towards the end, though, so that you can try to get an idea of what category your gift might fit into to try to narrow it down. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first question that I have here is the current energy that you are in surrounding your abundance. Okay. And before I get started, I heard a message when I was shuffling these cards that your gift, consider that a gift is something that is earned. Now, when we have the gifts that we have, obviously these are things that you was naturally born to do. When you are operating in your highest vibration and you are coming from your most authentic version of yourself, that's when you're able to really tap into those gifts and utilize them in a way where they're helpful to humanity, to yourself, and you're able to build generational wealth through those gifts. That's the type of, authentic, that's the type of creativity that you want to be in, okay? And so a gift, that's a big gift, okay? To be able to build generational wealth for yourself, to be able to do what you was naturally placed here to do, you got to peel back a lot of layers in order to get to that gift. And so what I heard was it's something that is more so earned. You already have access to it, but you have to earn the right to get to the gift in order to utilize it. So it's there within you. It's always been there, but you have to earn the right to get to it, to utilize it so that it works on in your favor and in the favor of others. And so, as we know, when we first come here into this world, you're bombarded with many different obstacles that will create layers and barriers and walls around you and inauthenticity and just different things that remove you from that creative nature, that child, that inner child that is able to awaken that creative nature and that imagination in order to create that vision for yourself so that you can follow through and create through the vision. So we're going to get through these layers, okay? So that's why I have several decks, and that's why I know this message may take some time. So let's go ahead and see in terms of your current energy, because this is very important. What is your current energy surrounding those things that you are currently doing in order to create your abundance? Okay, so I got a couple of cards here. I'm not laughing, but y'all, it couldn't get no more clear than this, okay? Your current energy. You're burdened. You're weighed down. You're tired. You might be overworked. You might feel as if you have a lot on your shoulders to bear. You might be frustrated, angry, feeling more aggressive being in this type of work environment or whatever it is that you are investing your time and energy into is weighing you down and you're ready to quickly go into a new direction, okay? And also, you're not putting in it's not something that you want to put your time and energy into, okay? It's not something that you feel is beneficial to you in terms of, because the Eight of Pentacles in the upright is perfecting your craft, doing something that you love doing because you know that you're good at it, and you want to put your focus into it. You want to put your time into it, and you want to take your time to build, to create whatever that is. And the reverse is just the opposite, okay? So what you're doing right now is very burdensome. It's weighing you down, and you feel like you're having to, I heard, break your back in order to create the type of abundance that that's sufficient, okay? Um, let's see what else is coming out here. I feel like you're not getting any rest either, okay? The Four of Swords is in reverse. You're not getting much rest with this job that you're doing right now, or whatever it is that you're doing in order to create the abundance for yourself. You're ready for change, okay? I just saw 555. You are ready for change. Many of you feel like you're trapped, okay? You feel like you're trapped in this position, like you don't have a choice but to stay in this position because you can't see your way out of this right now. And you might even be in that energy of trying to create a false sense of pleasure for yourself through, some people might use drinking, they might use recreational, drugs, maybe herbs or whatever the case may be. Or if it's not that type of energy, you might do other things in order to try to create some sort of excitement or passion, in life, because right now you feel like most of your time and energy might be thrown into a job that is stressful, okay, and burdensome, and you're not resting well. So, yeah, no passion here. All right, no passion in this job. There's no spark, there's no excitement, there's no zeal. So, the energy that you're in right now, in terms of what you are putting a lot of your time and effort into, is low vibrational. Some of you are even working between 8 to 10 days within a 2-week pay period. I'm feeling, okay, 8 to 10 days within a 2-week cycle, and you still feel that you're not getting enough rest. You still feel that you're not able to put in the amount of time to do the things that you enjoy doing, largely because you don't see, you might feel like you don't have anything that you really enjoy doing, um maybe outside of recreational things, maybe hanging out with friends or whatever the case may be. But outside of that, just within your own company, I feel like you lack the creative abilities right now. So, yeah, not good in terms of your current energy when it comes to work. I'm going to pull a couple of more cards because your current energy has everything to do with what you're able to awaken within yourself and what you're able to attract to you. So then you have here the Three of Cups here, and then the World in the reverse. I mean, in the upright. So the Three of Cups and the World here. Some of you are ready to close out chapters when it comes to your job situation or certain people that you might be hanging around. You're ready to put an end to that because the World is all about closing out cycles. So I feel like, yeah, some of you might only be finding passion and excitement in life through going out, going out, maybe drinking with friends and things of that nature. But outside of that, when it comes to your work life and what you're doing to make a living, you feel trapped. You're in your head about it a lot. You're in your head about wanting to do something new, but not knowing which direction to go in. And it's causing you to feel a little bit more aggressive at times when you just want to get up. Some of y'all want to get up and quit. Like you just want to get up and just walk right up out the office and say, this is it, I'm done. Because your love is not in it, okay? Your love is not in it. And, yeah, and for a lot of you, you might even feel as if you're not getting anywhere financially. Like things are moving too slow in terms of you being able to level up financially in this position. And so you might even have bosses that are over you who, what's the Hierophant here, who might be kind of egotistical, and controlling in their nature. What is the Hierophant? But you feel like this is not going anywhere. Like it's at a standstill. So let's see. Your finances, you're not able to build and to save for yourself. Yeah, you feel like you have to be defensive at work, and a lot of you are actually being mistreated by these people, in a position of authority over you. They're abusing the amount of time and energy that you have been putting into this thing, because this is the Nine of Wands, and then moving up to the Ten of Wands. You're barely holding on to this position, but you don't feel like you are appreciated, but you're holding on because this is, for many of you, this you feel, because I'm not going to say this is what you have to do. You feel, you may believe that this is what you have to do in order to sustain your household here, okay? But this is not serving you emotionally at this time, and you're getting to the space where you're ready to let it go. And for some of you, I just heard you might even be having problems with your back. Okay, that might not be for everybody, but it could be that taxing on you physically to where you're having some, maybe some lower back issues, or some, pain in your shoulders, or whatever the case may be. But it's physically weighing on you a lot, okay? So I do feel that you might have some coworkers, some of y'all might stay in your current position because you feel like you have some camaraderie with some of the people that you work with, okay? You might feel like you're able to relate with them, and so some of you have not left to move into a new position because you might like some of the coworkers that you're surrounded by, but I feel like those people who are above you in terms of like management, or whoever you work up underneath, they are very overbearing in the amount of work that they put on you, and not really very appreciative. And some of you might not even have time with family. I just saw that as well. So the current energy is not so good when it comes to what you're projecting out into the universe, based on what you are putting your time and energy into the majority of your days, okay? And so that has to shift. So let me see. Let me ask the next question, and we're going to get into how we can shift that. So what is blocking your gifts right now? What is currently blocking your gifts? Because this is very important. What is currently blocking your gifts? Dissatisfaction in life, especially when that's the dominant energy. Dissatisfaction with what you do every day means that will be the dominant energy in terms of what you are projecting out into the universe. And so you cannot step into your creative nature in that energy, because then that means that, okay, there's still some work that has to be done on you in order for you to recognize that you deserve something better, okay? What's blocking your gifts at this time? So we have the Tower here. This is blocking your gifts. The Tower, I can't help but notice the cards that's sticking out. So I have the Tower here. I got the Seven of Cups in reverse, and then I have the Seven of Swords in reverse. You're not confused about something. You're seeing something very clearly here. I feel like you're seeing that this situation that you have right now is not stable at all. You can see this tower, the bottom of this tower was built on a very rocky foundation. So what you have right now is not stable at all. You're not confused about this. You see very clearly. You see through the fog. You're not confused. What is this Tower? Judgment. You might be holding back and staying stuck in this position out of fear of judgment. Out of fear of judgment, because the moon also deals with fear. So being in the dark about something, but you see the deception very clearly. You see that you see that maybe the people around you are not the best, or you see that you might be deceiving yourself in terms of creating this illusion. In the past, you might have created an illusion for yourself that you was building a foundation through this particular position. But something has come crashing down, or something is going to come crashing down, because anytime you hold on to something that's not serving you in your forward movement, there's going to be a tower moment that happens here. So some of you might have already released yourself from this position. If you lost your job, or if something happened in your life where you can no longer go to this particular job, for some of you, you might have already walked away from this position because of a tower moment that happened and a judgment call that had to be made. Okay, this was something that may not have been within your control, or it might have happened unexpectedly. But you're not confused about this. You see things very clearly. You see where the tower was necessary. So what's blocking your gifts? If you have yet to do what's necessary to release yourself from an illusion of what true stability is, then you're being called to come into that understanding, okay? See things for what it is, okay? See things for what it is. Because in the upright, it's like this. Oh, you got all these clouds here. You got all of these options, but not all of them are viable. Not all of them are realistic when it comes to your path. And so this is in the reverse. You see it very clearly. You have taken the mask off, but some of you have kept yourself stuck in that position, or have tried to avoid the reality of it, because I feel like a lot of this is mental. You try to avoid the reality of the fact that this is not for you, and rather than making the judgment call yourself to release yourself from this thought process, this illusion that this is where you need to be, you've been holding on. And because you've been holding on, it keeps you in the dark about what your gifts are. Because the moon is that, that energy of, being in the dark about something, not being able to see something clearly. So the judgment call has to first be made on your thought process and how you perceive your current situation. If you are still fooling yourself into believing that this is where you need to be because it's the only way that you can create a foundation for yourself or stability for yourself, then it's time for you to let that lightning bolt strike, okay, and to really see clearly. Because if you're not able to get where you want to be financially anyway, or let's just say for some of you, you might say, okay, well, I have a job where I am financially secure, but I am completely unhappy. I am completely just not fulfilled. I know that I'm not serving my purpose. I feel guilty about what I'm doing. Then you may have created a solid foundation material-wise, but on the spiritual aspect of things, that is a completely rocky foundation that is bound to come crashing in. It's very important to have balance on both ends. Physically and spiritually, you need to have a solid foundation in terms of those things that you invest your time and your energy into doing every single day. Because that is going to have a strong influence on what your dominant thoughts are, what your dominant emotions are, and what your dominant energy is. And if your dominant energy is, I can't stand this job, I can't stand what I'm doing, I'm tired of this, this is too much, it's overwhelming me, I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere, this is not my purpose, that's your dominant thoughts, then you are welcoming in more of that type of energy. So I feel like the first step is to accept the fact that where you currently are is not where you belong, making a judgment call on that thing. Look at this, y'all. Making a judgment call on that thing. This is you and closing out that chapter, okay? You're getting prepared to start a new season and a new chapter for yourself with the Wheel of Fortune here. But that karmic wheel, you've been stuck and bound and chained to a contractual agreement that has not been beneficial to you. You have been bound and chained to it largely due to fear, largely due to materialism, largely due to, for some of you, maybe your ego said, okay, I got to keep this position because of the title that it gives me and because of the accolades that I receive from others based on the title or based on my hourly wage. But you are unhappy, you are unfulfilled, you are unsatisfied. And so now with this devil coming out in the reverse, you're being called to take a real reality check right now on your current position. That's what's blocking your gifts, because you have to first accept the fact that where you are is not where you're supposed to be. That's one layer. I feel like that's the first layer. Okay, so let me put these back, because the devil energy and the wheel of fortune just shows me that it has been the same cycle of the same type of energy that you do not want. So let me see something. I'm gonna pull from this deck and see what comes out. What is blocking your gifts? So yeah, living moment to moment. Okay, staying in the now. What's blocking your gifts? I feel as if, right now it's like you're in an uphill battle to try to get to where it is that you desire to be. Okay, you feel like you got to put in all of this work and put in all of this effort, and you feel like you so far away from your destination or from your goals that you can't really stay in the now, because you have to constantly think about, okay, well, tomorrow I have to go in, or tomorrow I have to do this in order to make an ends. But you're not able to focus in on staying in the now and practicing gratitude in the now. I'm not going to say you're not able to. You're not in alignment with doing that because of your lack of zeal and passion for what you do on a regular basis. And so it feels like an uphill battle to get towards that abundance and that stability that you desire. So you're being called. What's blocking your creative gifts is that you're being called to shift the energy. The way, because you got to first shift the energy before other things can continue to, for other layers to peel back, okay? For you to get to your creative gift. And so shifting the energy looks like stepping into staying in where you are right now, moment to moment, practicing gratitude. So yes, you don't like your current position, true enough, but where can you find gratitude outside of that? You woke up this morning, you have energy, okay? And if you don't have energy, then you got to start moment to moment practicing ways of rebuilding and refueling yourself. If you have the type of job where it's in and out, and the only thing that you can do is grab something from a fast food restaurant and they give you that 30-minute break, because I know all about it. You get that little 30-minute break and the 2 15-minute breaks, depending on the type of job that you have. That's not enough time for somebody to be able to re-energize and refuel themselves, because likely by the time you get off of work, you're going home and you're getting ready to get up and do it all over again. And so there's no real break when you have those types of jobs. But in that moment, it's important to refuel yourself. It's important to, when you wake up in the morning, get you a NutriBullet or some sort of mixer. Mix up your vegetables. I just went and got me some sea moss. And this is my first time experiencing it. But when I tell y'all my energy is through the roof, and I just feel different after drinking it just twice, And so you want to start investing in yourself. You putting a lot of your energy into investing in somebody else's company and making them millionaires while they draining you and taking away from, all of those things that you rightfully deserve, okay? And you're not getting much back in return. Now it's time for you to start shifting your energy. Instead of going to the fast food restaurant and getting you, a burger or something, go into the break room, pull out your NutriBullet, mix you up a quick smoothie, or go to some sort of Smoothie King. Some states got Smoothie Kings in their state, and get you a smoothie. Do something for yourself. Eat you a fresh green salad with fruits. Drink you some alkaline water. On your breaks, go outside, plant your feet in the grass. You got to start shifting your own energy internally and practicing gratitude as often as possible, in order for you to shift yourself to out of your current circumstance. Because that's what's going to happen. That tower will happen, but it's going to be the tower that catapults you towards your specific gift, and your specific path, okay? But you have to first shift your energy within. As within, so without. So you create the foundation within first so that it can then manifest externally. But you don't start off by saying, all right, I'm gonna just quit this job, I mean, I ain't gonna say, well, you know what? I'll talk about my situation, my story on another day. But you don't want to just up and quit the job, but internally you still have you still have no excitement, no passion, no gratitude for life, and you're not living in the now. You're not living moment to moment and practicing that, practicing creating that good energy for yourself and alchemizing the energy. You want to be able to create that for yourself right now in the current position that you are in so that you can then peel back another layer. So creativity is also what came out. You feel like it's an uphill battle to get towards your creativity. Okay, because the question was, what is blocking your gifts? Okay, what's blocking your gifts is you spending all of your time trying to get up this hill, working, feeling like you're working against yourself. But you're putting in all of this work towards something that's not allowing you to stay in the now, or you're not staying in the now because you're more focused on getting up the hill. Okay, and so, like I said, shift your energy, get back into the now. And each moment you find a way to practice gratitude. Say your affirmations. I am love. I'm worthy of love. I am free. I am abundant. I am creative. Okay. And so then this is where you begin to shift the energy. Okay. Because I'm glad this creativity card came out, which indicates that once you begin living in the now and doing things moment to moment, practicing gratitude moment to moment, and finding your balance with the number 2 there, finding your balance where in your current position, because this is almost like, for me, these 2 cards together is, these are the obstacles, okay? These are the blocks that are in front of you, but you still balance. You maintaining your balance in spite of the obstacles that's in front of you, versus being overly focused on, all you see is the uphill, all you see is the hill, all you see is how far away you are from where it is that you want to be. Okay, when you look at it from this perspective, it's gonna seem like a lifetime before you can actually get to where you want to be. But when you look at it from this perspective, living moment to moment, and that's the number 2 down there, and staying balanced as you live moment to moment, practicing inner balance and blocking out, because what you see around this person is all color. The city is, you can kind of see it back there, but it's blurred out. It's blurred out with all of this energy of color. So color, you're not seeing things from a black and white perspective. You're shifting your vision where it's like, okay, you know what? I don't like getting up to go to this job, but I do like waking up in the morning. So let me start there. Thank you. Showing gratitude for just being able to wake up. Start there. And then, you don't like wearing uniforms to work every day, but, let's show gratitude for the fact that you can put on a uniform, okay, because you have a healthy body to cover it up with, okay? Or, you don't like that you only have 30-minute breaks, but making the best of that 30-minute break and doing everything that you would like to be able to do, or at least as much of it as possible, but focusing in on refueling, re-energizing, and rebuilding yourself in those 30 minutes or those 15 minutes. Instead of going outside to smoke a cigarette, go outside and do some deep breathing, okay? Because I feel like some of you have developed certain codependencies on certain things in order to create some form of relaxation or inner stability for yourself. So some of you do have cigarette habits. That's a layer that needs to be peeled back. Some of you have, developed habits on, having some wine, going out with your friends, and maybe over drinking because you feel like, okay, well, I finally got my weekend, Monday through Friday. I got to work. I don't have time for myself. So on the weekends, now you turning up and turning out. But you're losing the opportunity to refuel yourself. You're losing the opportunity to, because your sacral chakra is overactive in that energy. And so living in the moment is really important. That's a large part of those layers, though, okay? I know some of y'all don't want to hear this, but it's a fact. So let me see. Look at this, y'all. Celebration came out. I was just talking about turning up with them friends now. Celebration is in the reverse. What's blocking you is needing to taper back on some of the connections that you have. Because if you have people around you who also, let's just say you hang out with your coworkers, you have some sort of camaraderie with your coworkers, but these are people that hate their job too. You hate the job, and they hate the job too. But y'all have found a commonality in the fact that all of y'all hate the job, and all of y'all just want to get out and have a good time on your weekends because you know you got to get up and go back to this job that you hate come Monday. Well, you got to consider all of those people that you have in your energy are people who have not awakened to their own personal gifts, are people who likely have lack mentality, are people who likely do not have a passion or a zeal for life outside of doing things that are pleasure seeking type of behaviors in order to feel some sense of fulfillment. Now, this is just real talk, okay? We all been there. I've been there. We've all been there. So with that being said, the energy that you have internally and the energy that you have surrounding you is in direct opposition to you awakening your creative gifts. And so, like I said before, as within, so without. So you have to clear your energy. You're being called to clear your energy of people who lack the desire to come out of that, or if they do have the desire to come out of it, they don't have the desire to do what it takes in order to heal themselves so that they can come out of it. And so for them, they want to come out of the job. They don't want to be at that job. But for them, the only thing that they can do is just complain about it. Complain, and turn up whenever they get some time. And that's it. Many of them won't be able to free themselves from this, but you are ready. You want to free yourself from this. You want to awaken your creative gifts. And so you know, as a result of that, there's work that has to be done. You know that we are all energetic beings. And so you know that you have to first shift your energy, your internal energy, before things outside of you actually begin to materialize and reflect what's happening from within. If right now you are unsatisfied, then you are attracting to you things that are going to mimic that unsatisfactory energy. So, living in the now, doing things that's healthy for your body, utilizing your time in a way that's healing, and the more that you practice gratitude from your heart and you do it on a regular basis, you're going to outgrow your circumstance to the point where the Most High is going to shift things in the universe to where it's going to begin to reflect what's happening internally. It has no choice, okay? It has to reflect. So this is where you begin. Let me just take this one. Control. Let go of control. This is also what is blocking you from awakening your creative gifts, because you're trying to control the narrative of things too much. You have to release control and live moment to moment. Live in the now. In this energy, you're too rigid. In this energy, that things are cloudy, it's dark. You know, you're in that black and white energy. In this energy, there's no color, there's no imagination, there's no creativity that's able to come through. And in this energy, you cannot pierce through those layers. You see how rigid that is. You see how, solid those layers are around this person. And how inauthentic this will make you in terms of who you are, trying to control the narrative of everything. You got to allow things to happen freely, but you have to be the first person to initiate shifting the energy. And you can't be trying to control the narrative or rigid in your energy. So let's see. What do you need to release? So I feel like control is one of them. What do you need to release? Because we see what's blocking your energy is staying focused on how long it might take you to get to your destination, how far away you are from being able to awaken your creativity. You're needing to live in the now, moment to moment, and to practice things that's going to shift your energy and keep you focused on positivity. You're needing to release yourself from people that are around you who do not have a passion or a zeal or an excitement for moving towards their creative gifts or healing themselves so that they can move towards their creative gifts or awaken their creative gifts. And you're needing to release control. So what do you need to release in order to awaken your creative gifts? Look at this, y'all. Past life came out in the reverse and ordinariness came out in the reverse. What do you need to release? past lives would be people from your past, people whose time is up, okay? People whose time is up. That's what you need to release, because a lot of these people are no longer serving you in your forward movement. You are ready to become the most authentic version of yourself. And so that means that likely the people that you have attracted to you are the ones who was attracted to that inauthentic version of you. They don't really know who you are because you have so many layers that you have still held on to, trying to maintain in the material world. But as you continue to heal and peel back those layers, you are going to change. Who you present yourself to be to the world is going to change, and so will your circle. And so you might as well, either you can go ahead and change and watch them fall off themselves, or you can go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to scale back. I'm going to go into hermit mode so that I can start learning who I am, peeling back these layers and getting down to who I was created to be and what I was created to do. Ordinariness comes out in the reverse. What do you need to release? You need to release that energy of feeling as if the ordinary things in life are just too boring. Because this person is outside enjoying nature. This person is outside, getting back in tune with nature. Nature is very healing. But someone who is very caught up in working and you feel like you barely have time for yourself. Society has made us believe that you have to do something that is stimulating to you in order to, or do something external to yourself in order to create that stimulation, okay? In order to to release that dopamine. You have to do something like having sex. You got to do something like going out and turning up, or getting, drunk, or smoking with your friends, or I don't know. You got to do something that's going to stimulate your sacral chakra, but to overstimulate it to the point where that's the only way that's what's fun. Anything that's like this, that's ordinary, is just it's too boring. There's nothing to it. There's nothing there to do. But this person is alone. This woman is out here alone, picking some flowers, smelling the roses, okay? She probably got, it don't even look like she has shoes on. She walking in the grass barefoot, okay? She's out in nature. This is how you awaken your creative gifts, because nature is the canvas of the Most High's infinite creative abilities. When you go out into nature and you see that not no two things are the exact same, you realize that the source from which you came is the artist of all artists, the creator of all creators. And so because you came from that source, then you too possess a gift that is unique to you, okay? And you're not going to be able to see this clearly until you get back connected with nature, okay? Not only is it going to be healing to you, but it's going to be eye-opening for you in terms of all of the infinite possibilities. And then in this energy, you stop limiting yourself to where your gifts might take you, okay? You stop limiting yourself. But in this energy, being rigid and trying to control the scenario of things, and only thinking that, being around the wrong types of people or practicing the wrong types of self-pleasuring behaviors is the only way to go in your free time, you're far removed from being able to peel back those layers. So this is where you need to, this is what you need to do. Get back out into nature, get back connected with yourself, stay in the now, shift the energy. What else do you need to release? So you have no thingness. This is in the reverse. In the upright, this is you clearing out your mind and creating that void space so that you can hear the messages that's coming in. This is you creating that blank canvas for yourself so that you can start to become the artist and to paint that reality that you desire for yourself. But in the reverse, that means that you got too many toxic thoughts, too many toxic emotions, and too much clutter that's within your mind that's keeping you from moving towards those things that you desire. What else do you need to remove? What do you need to release? Look at that. Those layers. This person, the only thing that you see is their eyes, their nose, and their mouth, and a bunch of tears. You got to release those layers. Those layers, that inauthentic version of yourself that you have created. This is very similar You know, you can't see nothing from this person except for their face. So it's very similar. It's something about these layers that have been created. Now, this card here says the dream in reverse. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But what you need to release, doing the work to peel back all of that inauthentic material that you have called yourself. And you know it hasn't been working for you. Those thought processes, those emotions, those people that you are around, those false senses, that false sense of pleasure, pleasure seeking behaviors that you know is only temporary, it's not really doing anything for you long term. Maybe some of those eating habits, you know, of course those things are very important. And your perception of what fun and what joy really is, this being able to just be, this is true joy. Okay, I wouldn't trade my connection with nature for a club, not today, not tomorrow, and not any day ahead of time, because I understand that that energy is so low vibrational because you're surrounded by so many people who don't know themselves. Then they got all the music that's playing that's low vibrational in energy. Not only the frequencies are low vibrational, but so is the lyrics, and so is the energy that it produces. Everybody in there trying to hump on something. Everybody in there trying to, you know, with overactive sacral chakras, getting extremely drunk, you know, and not feeling good by the next day. They feel terrible. They're building up all of this acid in their bodies. And I mean, everything is in direct opposition to you functioning in your authentic state. When you peel back those layers of that false sense of security and that false sense of pleasure, that's when you get to the true version of who you have been created to be. And when you get to that true version, that's when you have earned the right to awaken those gifts. Okay, let me see, what can you do to awaken your gifts? So let me start pulling here, because I see the time is moving and I want to get to the other card towards the end of you being able to pick between these various measures. We'll just talk about it. Okay, what do you need, what can you do to awaken your gifts at this time? So I've already given you several tips, but let's just see if there's anything else coming out. What do you need to do to awaken your gifts? Look at that, y'all. Adventure. This is a child here. And look what's here at the bottom of the deck. Okay, we'll talk about it. But this says the burden. The burden is in the reverse. So that's releasing all of them people that ain't nothing but a burden in your life, okay? Like crabs in a barrel, just trying to do what's, you know, self-pleasing, egotistical, you know, lifeless, okay? No life in them. They're loud with that rooster up there. They're, you know, they're just, they have no life in them. You can look at them and see that they have no life in them. These people have been a burden. They have weighed you down. You are being called to heal your inner child and to take that adventure that allows you to go into that place. You're doing it alone, though. You don't have no people around you. You are healing that inner child and you are moving towards that adventurous side of yourself. You are awakening that creative nature within yourself. You are awakening that imagination. The child is the one who is the perfect example of what a true imagination is, okay? Because children, they can sit there and they can play with themselves and talk to themselves and create images in their own mind, create an entire world for themselves through their imagination. It's not until that child is introduced to some sort of trauma or society's influences when the imagination starts to scale back and they start to suppress that imagination. But and moving into adulthood, you suppress it even more because you become more focused in on the bills and maintaining a false sense of security and being in survival mode. But once you peel back those layers, what's up underneath them layers? That child that's ready to become more adventurous, that's ready to step out into the world to see things differently. So how do you awaken your gifts? By releasing the burdens that's within you and those burdens that those people around you are bringing because they are low vibrational in energy. Okay, they got to climb on top of each other just to try to get a little bit higher. That's how you know they low vibrational in energy. Okay, anytime you got to climb on top of somebody else just to feel like you have some sort of power or authority. Okay, and so releasing those types of people, healing your inner child so that you can awaken what's being revealed to you and only you, because it is specifically crafted and created for you. Look at this. Past lives came out again in reverse. So y'all got to let these people go, okay? Some of these people came in from your past lives and they followed you from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime to try to hold you back from being able to awaken and to step into your divinity. This thing is spiritual before it's physical, okay? We are spirits having a human experience. And so some of you have past lives, people from your past lives that's still looking. They always trying to find a way to keep you back and to hold you back from moving towards your divine path and from awakening and healing that inner child so that you can actually go towards those things that you've been called to do. So now many of you, one of the first steps is to release those people, okay? And then once you do that, we're going right back into where we just came from. You'll be able to move in a space of living moment to moment, creating that energy of positivity, of color, painting your own canvas moment to moment, staying in gratitude, staying balanced, and there's your creativity. That's that life that's in you. That's that inauthentic. That's that authenticity. Okay, that's being transparent in your energy. You've peeled back all of those layers. You peel back so many layers that now you see through, because you can see right through this person. But what you see is creativity. What you see is life. What you see is a connection to all things that exist, and because of that, you've been able to awaken your creativity. And also keeping in mind that the creative nature is the feminine aspect of yourself. The masculine energy is what allows you to implement what you have created. The masculine energy allows you to establish that foundation with that gift that you have nurtured and birthed, okay? And so you want to balance out the two. All right? So your creative energy is going to come from your feminine nature. And so in order to balance out your feminine energy, you need to know that the feminine energy largely deals with being vulnerable. It deals with being transparent. It deals with being compassionate. It deals with being empathetic. Okay, it deals with listening to your intuition. So it's very important that if you are leaning too far into your masculine energy and you're wondering why you have not been able to awaken your gifts, it's because you have to balance out your feminine energy in order to nurture that inner child, peel back those layers, get to that child that's there that has been suppressed so that you can reawaken your vision and your imagination. So and this is the card here, intensity. With intensity, you're going to be catapulted towards your path. You're going to be catapulted towards your creative gifts and your purpose, okay? Coming out of all of that dark energy and moving towards the sunlight. So a lot of color is here now in terms of those things that you need. What do you need to do to awaken it? Get back in the now. Release them people that are not serving you. Release those habits and those mindsets that are not serving you. Do the work to heal the inner child. Reawaken your imagination. Stay in the now. Practice gratitude. And you're going to awaken your creative gifts. So now what I'm going to do is numbering 1 through 4. Okay? I'm going to... Numbering from 1 to 4, I'm going to pick to see what your energy is in terms of where your gifts might be taking you, what your gift might look like, okay? Now, obviously, I don't have all of the answers in terms of pinpointing detail by detail what your gift is. That's a large part of your position when it comes to peeling back those layers. You will be able to see over time where your gifts lie, because they're there. They're just hidden from you until you're ready to access them. And so, number 1 is going to be fire. Number 2 is wind. Number 3 is water. And number 4 is earth. Okay, so you choose 1 through 4. Which one is for you? And I'm just going to lay out a card for each one. And I'm going to see what this looks like in terms of your gifts. So hopefully this method will bring some clarity. We'll see. All right, so for number 1, I'm just going to pull randomly. Number 1, that is fire, okay? Number 1 is fire, and the wands do represent fire. So if you chose number 1, then you are, and I'm going to clarify this with this deck, you are doing something that is going to, you're going to be very passionate about it, but it's going to be something that brings a lot of excitement, okay? It's going to be something that is I feel like you're going to constantly be moving. It's going to be something where you're not sitting still very often. And it's like you're going to need to put in a lot of passion and excitement. When I see fire, I see something that's like, I don't know, some of you might be like an advocate for someone, for a group of people. Or if it's not something like that, it can be, when I think of fire, it can be like something that keeps you moving, okay? Something that you need a lot of excitement to do. So whatever that is, let me see. What is the Ace of Wands? So the Ace of Wands is we are the world. We are the world. So I feel like this could be dealing with, like I said, advocating for people, doing something to bring people together, but it takes a lot of passion and excitement and zeal. You might be working with a lot of people with the Ace of Wands here, with that fire energy. So constant movement. Let me see one more for number one. Okay, yeah, I feel like you're going to be healing people. People who have suppression, people who have things that they have suppressed, helping them to bring that up, helping them to come out of that energy of being suppressed and holding things in. So I feel like your position largely deals with reawakening that passion within others. Let me pull from this deck. I want to clarify all of these to try to help you to get an understanding, and also listen to your own intuition, because the more that you listen to your own intuition, the more that you awaken your creative gifts, okay? Because your intuition is that's your higher self telling you, trying to give you nudges on what you should be doing and what your gift is. And the more you listen to your intuition, the sharper it becomes. So I'm utilizing my own intuition on your behalf, but I also would like for you all to, the pictures that you see here, maybe you could pause it and really formulate your own idea of what this may mean for you. So I'm going to clarify these. For number one, we're still on fire. What is the Ace of Wands? Okay, so this says you are torn between two paths spiritually. So some of you all, for number one, you might be that person that's that triggering, that's that fire that comes in, that ignites some sort of understanding in another person, whatever it is that you do, and it helps them to recognize what path they should be going down. You ignite that fire that awakens them to the fact that, okay, this is not the path for me, but this is the path. And so whatever it is that you do, it's going to help people to come out of this suppressed energy of feeling like they're holding things in and being torn between two paths. Okay, so let's move on to number two. Number two, what is number two? Number two is wind. Okay, if you chose number two, what your creative gift may look like if you chose number two. Just going to randomly pull like I did with the other one. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups. So we have the number two, Page of Cups. I feel like this is that element of surprise. This is you doing something that you might work with children some type of way for number two. You might work with the youth or younger people. You might... Because for me, when I think of the wind, this is also about communication, okay? So you might have some sort of position where you communicate with the youth, okay? You reawaken some sort of excitement within the youth, or you do something to help balance out the emotions of the youth, or to awaken their gifts, their creative nature. It could be something about the youth here for y'all. Let me clarify this with this deck. For the Page of Cups, for those of you who chose number two, the wind, you may be communicating, okay? Or you could be writing books for younger people to help them to awaken their own gifts and to step into their own creative nature, or to help them to balance out their emotions. Something about communication and helping the youth or younger people. So let me see, what's the Page of Cups? Look at this, y'all. The Page of Cups is clarified by innocence, okay? So innocence, that's dealing with the youth. Okay, that's dealing with that childlike energy that is within you. So if it's not the youth per se, then it could be you doing something through your voice, through your communication, or through written word, because it's all about the thought. The when, for me, I hear thoughts. Okay, so doing something for the youth or to help reawaken the inner child within those, older people. It could be older people, it could be younger people, it could be, right, middle-aged people, whoever it is. You're reawakening that innocence within them and helping them to see life from a different perspective. And one thing that I see that's very similar in both of these cards is that they're discovering something. Okay, each person is discovering something. This will be the child discovering something, all the way up to the more mature man who's probably about 100 years old, who is also discovering something. But both of them are discovering it through a new set of eyes, through a fresh set of eyes here. So whatever you do is going to awaken the innocence, is going to heal and balance out that youthful energy. Let me bring another card out. I'll pull another one for the Page of Cups. So I feel like with the miser coming out, this could be, this is someone who's holding back their jewels. They're holding back their gifts, okay? You might be the person that uses your platform to help people to see where their gifts lie and to reawaken their creativity by helping them to see things through a different set of eyes. So something that you do is going to awaken that. Let me pull from this deck to clarify the Page of Cups. Those of you who picked number 2 for the wind. So rather than them holding back their gifts, like the miser, they're actually releasing that and stepping into their, healing their inner child and awakening their own creative gifts. So what is the Page of Cups? Okay, yeah, you're going to be guiding people. This says ask your holy angels for guidance. You're going to be giving people some guidance here on how to heal their inner child and awaken that creative ability within themselves through communication. So whether it's through spoken word, written word, you might be a counselor, a motivational speaker. You might write books that's going to help guide them, but that's what you're going to be. I feel like that's where you're being guided to go. That doesn't mean that that's exactly where you're going to be, because it's a general reading, but that's what I'm strongly seeing for number 2. Those of you who picked number 2, the win. Now moving on to number 3, water. Number 3 is water. So let's see, for those of you who picked number 3, water. What does this mean for your creative gifts, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to pull a random one. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune. This is all about change. Okay, major changes that come in. So let me see. Right away, just looking at this, I see every single figure in each corner actually has a book. Okay, so you could be some sort of teacher. But let's see. Let me just clarify. What is water? For those of you who pick number 3, water. Some of you might be like a spiritual type of counselor. Whether it's through writing or actually teaching people. Let's see. What is the Wheel of Fortune? Oh, look at that. Awareness. So what you do, your gift is to help bring people into awareness of who they are and helping them to change, because the Wheel of Fortune is all about change. And so stepping out of that fear, okay, being in the shadow of fear and burning through that energy and stepping through in their awareness, okay? And this number that's down here, the number 7. Number 7 is the number of spirituality. So you all might be a spiritual teacher that helps to bring change for people, to awareness to who they are. Let me clarify that again. What's the Wheel of Fortune? Yep. So, okay, y'all ended up with 2 cards. You have rebirth. So that is that energy of changing, rebirth. Okay, that's what that says down there. You are that person that's going to help facilitate rebirth in others. And also, this card says harmony. So you're going to be the one that brings them into a space where they're able to shift the energy, come into awareness of who they are. Major transformations is going to happen for them. And with this being underwater, you're going to be helping to heal people's emotions, healing those wounds, okay? Largely using your feminine energy, whether you're man or male or female, using that nurturing energy to awaken, to heal, and to facilitate rebirth and change in others and awareness in others, okay? So let me pull from this one, this deck over here in terms of what the Wheel of Fortune is, and then we're going to move on to number 4, and then I'm going to close out, y'all. I hope that this message is helpful for you and that you utilize these things that I have been called to address with you all, and also your own intuitive wisdom in terms of those things that you need to do right now. So what is the Wheel of Fortune for those who picked number 3, water? Okay. So the card that came out is study the subject more. So you are going to facilitate, you're going to be encouraging people to study. And now this takes me back to the Wheel of Fortune, where all of these people are doing just that. Every single person in each corner, every single figure in each corner is studying something. Every single one of them has a book, okay? All of them possess a book. So you are going to facilitate change in people that's going to make them come into an awareness about who they are, and they're going to go into a rebirth. You got the number 10 coming out twice, and so this is a completion. Some sort of cycle will complete for them as a result of the harmony, the awareness that they come into of who they are on a spiritual level, stepping outside of fear and stepping into their true nature, okay? And you're going to do it through that nurturing energy that you possess. You're going to encourage them to move into studying more, okay? Studying themselves, studying life, studying those things that they have been taught versus those things that they need to know. You're going to facilitate that change. And so now, for number 4, this is Earth. For those of you who picked Earth, let's see. What does this mean in terms of your creative gifts for those of you who picked number 4, Earth? Okay. So we have the 3 of Wands here. So the 3 of Wands is having an unconventional way of doing things, okay? Being optimistic about your future, being ready to, move towards a new direction, okay? Turning away from the old and embracing and embarking on the new, okay? Being passionate about moving towards something new. So let's clarify, what is the 3 of Wands? Because when I see Earth, when I think of Earth, I feel like this is your creativity. Because the 3 of Wands deals with like doing something unconventional, like you're doing something that's very different from the status quo. And so Earth, something is going to be different in terms of your creative nature. What is Earth? What is the 3 of Wands? Okay, so there's another number 3 for guidance. So you're going to be guiding people to go into a new direction. Okay, some sort of guidance here. Let's see another card for the 3 of Wands. Guiding people to see beyond the illusion. Okay, and with the butterfly here, Seeing beyond the illusion. It's just going to be something that's very different, something that um, encourages people to want to just be unique, okay? Something very unique. Seeing beyond the illusion, guiding people to see beyond the illusion and to be optimistic about doing something different. Um, and this is with Earth. So let me pull one more from this deck for Earth. For those of you who picked number 4. Okay. Well, I got 2 cards here. So, yeah, whatever you do, it's going to take people out of this energy of practically breaking their back in order to make an end, in order to create a living or a foundation for themselves. They're going to learn something from you, because the Page of Swords is learning. You're going to help them. You're going to be teaching them how to see beyond the illusion of where they currently are, and that it's okay to release these wands, to come out of this energy, to turn away from this, and to have a different perception of life and moving in their own creativity, okay? Because the number 3 has come out for you all twice. So you're going to be helping people to see beyond the illusion of where they currently are and helping them to move towards their own gifts, their own creative gifts. So you might even be teaching people different skills, some kind of way, different skills that's not the status quo. It's something different. You might be teaching people skills here. Let me pull from this deck. For those of you who picked number 4, Earth. But you will be guiding people, and they will be learning from you, and they will be able to transform into their own, whoever it is that they are supposed to be, their own identity, their own uniqueness. With the butterfly there, I see uniqueness. With the 3 of Wands there, I see uniqueness. So you're going to be able to awaken people's gifts by teaching them to do something here. So what is this? So you have pay attention to the synchronicities. Pay attention to the synchronicities. So the synchronicity that we are seeing right now is the number 3. You're also going to be helping them, because when you see beyond the illusion, that's when you start paying attention to synchronicities, okay? Because it's almost like when you go through your awakening, many people are able to attest to the fact that they start to see numbers, like synchronistic numbers or synchronistic, phrases, or, just things just seem to be, it's like, how could that happen? Okay, so you might start seeing 333, 111, 222. And of course, before your awakening, you saw these things before, but you never thought about it. You never thought twice about it. But in your awakening, then you begin to see that the synchronicities were occurring more often and that they meant something. And so you start to, in your awareness, in your seeing beyond the illusion, you start to search to see what that means. And so you're going to do something to elicit and to help people to understand what these synchronicities mean and what their creative gifts are. You're going to be guiding them some kind of way, but I feel like you're going to be showing them how to do something in the physical, versus through speaking, or, it could be through speaking, but I feel like it's going to be something that you're going to be showing them. Let me pull one more, and then I'm going to close out, y'all. Okay, you need to water your vessel. Okay, so I feel like, that's interesting. Some of you might even be doing something, because now that I think about Earth, you might even be doing something in terms of healing people through like using herbs and all natural remedies, oils, butters. Maybe you'll be doing something like that, helping them to see beyond the illusion of healing themselves, or on ways that they can heal themselves, on ways that they can create their own abundance for themselves. So yours is going to be more, I feel like, surrounded with you doing things to heal them through natural remedies for many of you. But if it's not that, it's going to be something where you help them to see beyond the illusion and their own uniqueness, and you're going to be guiding them in some type of way. So that's what I got for y'all. I really hope and pray that this was helpful for you. If you desire a private reading from me, you can always email me. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you find that this was helpful for you, and to hit the notification bell. I love you all, and I'll talk to you next time.